Hey guys, welcome back to Clutch X. In today's video, we're going to talk about a triple recessive ball python. Excuse me. Not only that, but we're going to talk about a super enchi triple recessive ball python. Now this question was asked to me in a comment in one of my previous videos, and where somebody asked me if it was a good idea to actually try to create, such a snake, right, as a beginner. So before we get too into it, I would have 3 questions for you guys, because I really want to engage people about this, because it's just such an intriguing question to me personally. My first question to you guys would be, A, do you guys think that this is a project worth taking early on? And again, I'm not talking about, as a business or, I'm talking about, would you take this project on if you had the love for the animals and you knew the responsibility that came with maintaining, the amount of animals that you would need to produce a triple recessive super, right? So, A, would you guys consider even taking on that project? Would you consider that project to be more for advanced ball python breeders, or, just anybody off the streets just trying to get into the hobby? And another thing too, because I kind of gave myself a budget, how would you start off this project if you only had $6,500 to spend? So you had $6,500. How would you guys invest it into creating your super enchi clown pied ultramel? So this snake is the one that he actually asked me if it was good to produce. So that's why I'm using that exact same those exact same genes. So I'll explain my chart a little bit. So in case you guys can't see it too well. So the first thing that I have my steps, the time, and the money. So I'll go per step, so you guys can kind of follow along and see my thought process of how I would do it personally, right? So the first step for me would be to purchase your females, like almost any project requires you to do. So what I would do, I would purchase 2 females that are enchi clown het pied, and which are going to cost about $3,000, right? Then I would also purchase at the same time, I would also purchase 2 ultramel females, which I will buy at the same time, and then that was probably going to run about $2,000, right? So your initial investment, $5,000, give or take a little bit. So after that, what I would do, I would grow up those females 2 to 3 years, because you're probably going to buy stuff that's this small, right? 2 to 3 years. Once your females hit about 1,000 grams, that's when I would purchase a male. And what I would purchase, I would try to find a enchi pied het clown. So, and that's probably going to run you about $1,500. So that's where I came up with a budget of $6,500. So once you have that, you grow up that male. By year 3, let's say you're breeding some of these females. And so let's say you will take that male, breed it to these females here, and you have 1 in 16 odds for a super enchi clown pied. So, you're gonna get about 12 eggs, maybe 12 to 14 eggs, right? So I'm banking, me personally, that I will produce a super enchi clown pied. But not only that, I'm banking that I will end up with a male super enchi clown pied. So, and this is why I would purchase these 2 ultramel females, because if I do produce that male, I could then just wait 1 year and plug it into my ultramel females to then create the triple hets. Okay, but if I don't hit the odds and I don't get it, or I get a female, then I would try the following year to try to get that super enchi clown pied. And what I would do is I would use some of the offsprings from the original breeding that might give me a better shot at producing a super enchi clown pied, if that makes sense. Because once you breed it, you might end up with a super enchi het clown pied or something like that. So then but still, right? So let's say it takes you 2 years to hit it, right? You're still better off having these 2 females ready for the future male that you will produce. Then after you produce it, whether male or female, buying the female or male ultramel, because then it would just take 2 to 3 years longer for you to do it. So for me, it's worth the $2,000 investment for the shot at actually making my snake a lot faster. So once you're here, you know, actually down here, right, and you're creating triple heads, you know, I would repeat this breeding as much as possible to keep creating triple heads, because you're gonna need an army to have better shots or odds at producing your snake. So for example, you have a 1 in 128 chance to produce an enchi head, not head, enchi clown pied ultramel. 1 in 128. Then you have a 1 in 256, so double that to create a super enchi clown pied ultramel. So try hitting those odds with just having 1 or 2 heads or triple heads. That would most likely take you about 10 years to hit that, right? So I'm creating an army. I'm having at least 15 triple heads, you know, which you could probably reach that number within the first, 3 years of breeding. And I'm not keeping a lot of males, right? I'm keeping a lot of the females and having that 1 male or 2 males, maybe 2 or 3 males to produce to, 13 or 14 triple heads, right? So that's kind of where I stopped doing the math, because from here, again, you take those pairings, you take those breedings, and then, every time you breed, you might get something that might help you improve your odds for the following year. So this 128 might be half, right? Or a third of that, or whatever it may be. So for me, that's why it's worth having all that head army, essentially. So, and there you have it, guys. So I kind of estimated that by the time you start getting these shots, you're going to be investing about 8 to 10 years in this project. You're going to be at least an original investment of $6,000 plus all the time and sweat equity that you're going to spend in maintaining them, breeding them, housing them, especially once you have your head army. Not only that, all the food that you're going to invest into it. So it really is a lot. But this is kind of my strategy and my way that I would actually bank into creating a super enchi clown pied ultramel. If anybody out there looks at this chart and doesn't really agree with it, let me know. Tell me how you would go around about doing it and what makes more sense to you. Again, this is the suggestion that we got off a comment, and it was just so interesting to me. I felt like I just had to do a video because I don't think a lot of us realize how hard a triple recessive is. Nowadays, double recessives aren't that rare, right? Clown pieds, exanthic pieds or lightning pieds. You have ultramel pieds, you have albino pieds, all kinds of stuff, right? So, double recessives aren't as rare. But when it comes to triple recessives, your odds just become that much lower, that much harder to produce, right? So this is like the next frontier in the ball python hobby industry. And so I just kept thinking about the question and figuring out how I would go about it, and thinking about how much money I would invest into it, how much time I would have to invest into it. And I couldn't really answer the question. The question literally was, would you recommend, is this a good morph to shoot for as a beginner ball python hobbyist or breeder? So I didn't know how to answer that, because if you have the time and you have the money, why not? You're gonna get the satisfaction of producing probably one of the rarest ball pythons out there. And after this invested time, you're just gonna be super excited when you hit it. So for me, I would say yes, I guess. Yeah, that's my gut saying go for it. But I don't know if people are willing to invest this much time, this much money, and go through this whole ordeal to produce such an amazing snake. So there you have it, guys. These are the steps. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 7 steps. Some are overlapping a little bit, some are actually, around the same time frame, but this is what I got. So please comment down below. tell me how would you go about it. I'm definitely really anxious to have conversations with you guys to let me know how you would actually do it, and kind of share notes on it, and see which way to take it. And to be honest, I might actually end up buying some animals to try to produce these triple heads maybe next year, because after doing this, I'm like, wow, this is like really, really cool. So again, guys, let me know, tell me what you think, and we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.